Imagine betting $200,000 on a single hand of cards. Now imagine doing that 70 times every hour for days on end. While most people can barely afford a night at the casino, one man turned high-stakes gambling into an art form and nearly brought down one of America's most famous business empires in the process. This is the true story of Akio Kashiwagi, the warrior, whose legendary gambling battle with Donald Trump ended in a mystery that remains unsolved to this day. From poverty to millions. Born in 1938 into a poor Japanese family with 9 siblings, Akio Kashiwagi started life with nothing. The son of a carpenter, he dropped out of high school and worked as a farmhand, later becoming a mountain guide at Mount Fuji. Nobody could have predicted that this humble luggage handler would one day become one of the world's most feared casino gamblers. By the 1960s, Kashiwagi had moved into real estate development in Kawaguchiko, perfectly timing Japan's explosive economic boom. He founded Kashiwagi Shoji Company, claiming annual income of $100 million and assets worth over $1 billion. Yet his finances remained so secretive that when casinos conducted credit checks, they could only list his profession as business. His methods were ruthless. He allegedly disappeared when borrowers came to repay loans, forcing them into default so he could seize their collateral. In one notorious case, he purchased land occupied by a kindergarten, evicted the children mid-school year, demolished the building, and erected an apartment complex. Though his business practices were questionable, they built him a fortune that would fuel an even more dangerous obsession: baccarat. Enter the warrior. Kashiwagi didn't just gamble, he waged war on casinos. Known as the warrior, he became what casino operators call a whale, an ultra-high roller who bets astronomical sums. He would play baccarat for up to 80 hours straight, betting $100,000 to $200,000 per hand. In January 1990, Kashiwagi made international headlines by winning approximately $22 million at the Diamond Beach Casino in Darwin, Australia. The win cemented his reputation as one of the world's most formidable gamblers. Casino owners both feared and coveted him. He could make or break their bottom line in a single session. The Trump Showdown, Round 1. When Donald Trump heard about Kashiwagi's Australian victory, he saw dollar signs and headlines. Trump owned multiple Atlantic City casinos, but his empire was struggling financially. He needed a big win and major publicity. Kashiwagi could provide both. In February 1990, Trump flew to Tokyo to promote the Mike Tyson versus Buster Douglas heavyweight fight. At a pre-fight party, Trump tried to pull a shy Japanese man into photos with Tyson. The man refused, shouting "no picture." That man was Akio Kashiwagi. Once Trump learned his identity, the casino mogul launched an aggressive recruitment campaign. He flew Kashiwagi to Atlantic City on his private jet, greeted him with a signed copy of The Art of the Deal, and set him up in a luxurious Trump Plaza penthouse, complete with an ocean view, grand piano, and an $800,000 jade Buddha statue. Trump even invited journalists to cover the event, turning it into a publicity spectacle. Kashiwagi brought $6 million of his own money and received another $6 million in credit. A private baccarat table was reserved exclusively for him. Then the bleeding began. Kashiwagi won $1 million in the first 30 minutes. By the end of the first evening, he was up $4 million. Over 2 days of relentless play, betting $250,000 per hand at 70 hands per hour, that's $14 million wagered every 60 minutes. Kashiwagi walked away with $6.2 million in winnings. Trump's casino was in financial difficulty. The future president had been publicly humiliated, and Kashiwagi had left abruptly, uncomfortable with the media attention Trump had orchestrated. The mathematical trap. Trump wanted revenge and his money back. He enlisted mathematician Jess Markham to devise a strategy. Markham's calculations were simple but devastating. The longer Kashiwagi played, the more likely he was to lose. If Kashiwagi played for more than 75 hours, his chances of winning dropped to just 15%. Working with casino expert Al Glasgow, they crafted an informal agreement. Kashiwagi would return to Trump Plaza and play until he either doubled his money or lost it all. By Markham's math, the casino held the advantage in a war of attrition. Kashiwagi accepted the challenge and returned in May 1990. Round 2. The bleeding reverses. For 6 days, Kashiwagi and Trump's casino battled it out in one of the highest-stakes gambling sessions in history. Early in the week, Kashiwagi was up $9.6 million. Trump must have felt déjà vu washing over him. But then Trump noticed something. Kashiwagi seemed to lose more when dealing with a particular group of young female dealers. Trump ordered them to remain permanently assigned to Kashiwagi's table. The tide turned. When Trump abruptly ended the game after 6 days, Kashiwagi had lost $10 million, exactly what he'd needed to lose under their agreement, or so Trump claimed. But Kashiwagi insisted their deal stipulated play until a $12 million win or loss. He believed Trump had ended the game prematurely and unfairly. Kashiwagi stormed out in rage, still owing the casino. He vowed to burn his signed copy of The Art of the Deal, The Debt and the Collapse. Playing on credit, Kashiwagi left behind a check that either bounced or was canceled. Accounts differ. He eventually paid back $6 million of the $10 million debt, but $4 million remained unpaid. Trump's lawyers threatened to sue. Meanwhile, Kashiwagi continued his global gambling tour, losing another $15.4 million in Europe. By 1992, he owed at least $9 million to American casinos and approximately $10 million to European creditors. The Japanese economic bubble had burst, leaving his real estate company underwater with debts of $131 million to banks, more than his company's entire book value. Ironically, Trump's Atlantic City empire was collapsing too. By 1992, all 3 of his Atlantic City casinos filed for bankruptcy. The man who had tried to harness Kashiwagi's whale-sized bets had been unable to save his own sinking ships. 150 stab wounds. On January 3, 1992, between 7 o'clock and 8 p.m., Akio Kashiwagi was found dead in the kitchen of his palatial home near Mount Fuji. He was 54 years old. He had been stabbed with an object resembling a katana sword. Reports vary wildly on the number of wounds. Some sources say 10, others 20, many say dozens, while still others report up to 150 stab wounds. The crime scene was bizarre. There was no sign of forced entry. Kashiwagi's $770,000 in cash, expensive diamonds, and antique collection remained untouched. Nothing was stolen. Despite Kashiwagi's paranoia, he always kept his house securely locked. The killer had somehow gained entry and left without taking anything of value. Japanese media immediately speculated about his unpaid European creditors. Had they made an example of him? Others pointed to the Yakuza, Japan's organized crime syndicate, with which Kashiwagi was rumored to have connections. In February 1992, Japanese police arrested a Yakuza member and a woman, charging them with murder and destruction of evidence. The man reportedly knew Kashiwagi's son and was deeply in debt. But the case went nowhere. The murder was never solved. The killer or killers were never found. The legacy of the warrior. Akio Kashiwagi's story became legend. The character Keiki Ichikawa, played by Nobu Matsuhisa in Martin Scorsese's 1995 film Casino, was based directly on him. His gambling exploits continue to be studied by casino operators and high rollers worldwide. Some have speculated wildly about his death. Could Trump have been involved, frustrated by the unpaid debt? There's no credible evidence to support this theory, and gaming executives confirmed Kashiwagi's extensive debts to multiple casinos across continents made him a target for many potential enemies. What we do know is that Kashiwagi lived by risk and died in mystery. He rose from poverty to challenge the world's most powerful casinos, winning and losing tens of millions in single sessions. He nearly bankrupted Donald Trump's casino empire before Trump's mathematical strategy turned the tables. The man who called himself the Warrior fought his battles at baccarat table from Australia to America, betting more in an hour than most people earn in a lifetime. His weapon was nerve, his battlefield was green felt, and his legacy is a cautionary tale about the dangers of living on the edge. In the end, Kashiwagi's greatest gamble wasn't at a casino. It was the life he chose to lead, surrounded by debts, secrets, and dangerous people. That gamble he lost. This story is verified through multiple sources, including Trump's own book, The Art of the Comeback, casino records, and contemporary news reports from the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and Japanese media outlets. Don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating true stories that sound too incredible to be real.